All right, what's up, Gospel Diaries? Listen, I'm so excited. I am yet in the city of, well, no, this is not Detroit. This is
Metro Detroit.
Metro.
This is Southfield, but this is Metro Detroit.
Other than in Whitfield, okay? But however, like I say, please take a moment to subscribe and share this content from my heart to yours. This is Brother Thomas Whitfield's youngest.
Baby brother, Larry Whitfield, y'all.
Larry Whitfield. How
Yes,
you
sir.
doing? I need to shake
I'm
your
good,
hand.
man. I'm good.
Oh, we're going to do all that.
Man, it's a blessing, man. I'm just honored.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
honored to be here
yes.
with you.
Man, thank you so much. So let's talk about, you were raised in Detroit, right?
Yes, my upraising was definitely in church. I was around my brother a lot. He came up through the ranks of being a musician as early as 9 years old at a church called Nazarene Baptist Church. And then from there, he moved on to Our Faith Prayer Tabernacle under the leadership of C.A. Craig the second, and then Pastor David Kenneth Craig, who was his brother that when he passed on. And so you're talking about the history of the Craig brothers and many other people that came through Prayer Tabernacle. Pastor Rudolph Stanfield, Bishop Andre Woods, Ronald Kersey, the Mighty Voices of Tabernacle. Oh my goodness, Louise McCord, Hula Jean Hurley, Carolyn Hurley, and many others that came through Prayer Tabernacle.
Prayer Tabernacle Church was organized by the late Reverend Charles Ashley Craig II on October 4th, 1958. The church's opening was spread by word of mouth, and on that first Sunday morning, when the doors of the church were open, 54 people united.
Seeing all of that history as a little boy, sitting behind my brother as he played that Hammond organ, it was just an amazing time in my life. And didn't realize that God was putting something in me by spending time with him, you know, and seeing how God brought him up. And then he started the choir, the legendary Whitfield Company, and just, you know, it was really a roller coaster ride in my childhood, seeing all of that.
Yeah. So let's delve a bit into your family.
Yes.
So how many siblings, how many children were there?
Well, it was five boys, and my mom and dad. I'm actually right now, I'm the sole survivor of the family. Everyone has passed on in my family, and I tell you, man, it's I have some rough days. You know what I'm saying? You gotta appreciate family.
Yeah.
You know, irregardless of what you go through, irregardless of what you deal with, you have to appreciate your parents. You have to appreciate your siblings because you just don't know. Five brothers, man. We just had a loving and awesome family. My dad was he actually used to tap dance with the group with these brothers called the Nicholas Brothers. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Nicholas Brothers.
Yeah, they did
Famous tap dance, yes.
They had the stair scene, right?
Yes. My daddy used to tap dance with them. He was also a singer. My mom, in the earlier days, used to sing with Aretha Franklin and her sisters. When she had the group, it was called the Franklin Sisters. My mom used to sing with them for. My mom used to sing with them for a period of time. My brother Robert, he played bongos for a group. Willard Hines, who literally stayed right across the street from us, a legendary jazz musician that had an awesome group and everything. And then my brother David used to sing with my brother Tommy and the Whitfield Company.
So your parents' name, let's get that.
Jacqueline Lillian Whitfield was my mom.
Jacqueline Lillian
Whitfield. And then my dad's name was Thomas Henry Whitfield. And then my brother Tommy was named after my dad. We called him Tommy. He was affectionately known as Tommy. And then over the years, there was a man, a friend in the family. His name was Daryl Ford, um, that gave him the name Maestro. Daryl Ford was one of the, at one point in Tommy's life, he was one of Tommy's managers and promoters, and he did a lot of work with them,
Really?
also in the studio. And this was back in the day when Tommy had first started uh, the company. Daryl Ford was very adverse in business and everything. So Daryl was a part of his management team, and he also promoted a lot of what Tommy did. And it was just a point where the Lord instilled on him that name, the Maestro, and it came from Daryl Ford.
Wow.
You know. Always practicing.
Really?
Always at church. Always practicing. And always at church. That's all I remember.
What was the age difference?
Well, Tommy and I are 10 years. And
Okay.
April is a significant month because April 30th, Tommy would have been 69 April 30th, which is this coming Sunday. I'm 10 years from him, so I just turned 59 April 16th. So April 16th, I turned 59. April 30th, he would have been 69. So we're 10 years apart. He used to take me everywhere with him, to the point to where people thought that I was his son.
Really?
Because we looked so much alike in the earlier days. Tommy and I looked so much alike, and people thought that I was his son. But he took me to the recording studio with him. He took me to church with him on those Sunday nights where we was at church late, and we would get home at 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. And I remember my mom being upset because I was the one that had to go to school in the morning. But I didn't care. I just enjoyed being with my brother. You know, I enjoyed him taking me, just seeing so much legacy in the city of Detroit, man. I mean, Detroit had so much rich history of gospel music, and he played for so many people and recorded so many people. I mean, we're talking Vanessa Bell, we're talking Yolanda Adams' first album when she was a school teacher and no one knew who she was.
SOJ.
You know, the Just As I Am album. Y'all go on YouTube. That is one of the baddest albums you can ever hear from Yolanda Adams. That very first album. It was just so humbling to see what Tommy did for her and his Detroit son. Him shifting gospel music the way he did with the type of playing that he did. I mean, even to this day, if it's not a musician that you can't hear, that you hear something that it's a signature that comes from the Maestro Thomas Whitfield. So Detroit embraced him. A lot of things that he did back in the earlier days, people would stand in awe because they didn't understand it. And it's like it was a lot of things that he did musically that was before its time, that back then people didn't understand it, that now they're embracing it like it's something brand new. But this was something that he was doing back in the 70s. They sung the type of notes that they sung. People was like,
I know.
we're not understanding that. Where is that coming from? And then years ago, they embrace it because it's like it came before its time. You know, and there was other artists out there in the industry like the Hawkins family that had timeless music, and of course the Winans.
Turning their nose up at Thomas Whitfield's music?
I wouldn't say that they were turning their nose up at Tommy. I think it was something that they didn't understand, and this is one of the reasons why Tommy started a choir on the outside of the church, because traditionally, it's only so far you can take a church choir
Yeah.
musically in the church before they say, wait, whoa, 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 we're okay. We can only. It's like it's a roof
Right.
in the
Right.
church. So when you're musically expanding, then you have to get your own.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what caused him to get his own because his music, his ideas, his creativity was expanding beyond what the church really, not so much what they could handle, but what they would only accept. Tommy was like, okay, it's time for me to get a choir because where I'm going, my creativity, what the Lord has given me, is beyond what the church will really accept. And
It's
it's okay to change the method.
exactly.
It's okay to change the method, but just don't change the message. That's all.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that very thing. The essence of that.
The message. The Throwbacks on the WVTC
Oh yes,
network.
please.
Catch it every Sunday at 5 p.m. This Sunday, I got Pastor Tolan Morgan, so make sure you catch it. But anyway, I had a guest on, and he was at a restaurant. His name is Blue, y'all. Artist. Blue Lucas and Music.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I had him on just last week, and he was talking about how he was in a restaurant, and he had on his jeans. You know how they have the jeans, the ripped jeans and stuff, and everything. You know, and he had on his shirt and everything, cap turned to the back, and everything. And some girls had came in, and they were conversating and everything. And then he's having a concert this upcoming weekend, and he was telling them about. He was asking them what they were doing. It was like, well, you know, we going to the club, blah 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 blah. He was like, well, you know, why don't y'all come and hang out with us? You know, long story short, the girls thought that he was referring to another club that they was going to. And it was like, well, what club you going to? They was like, no, we go to church.
Right.
It was like, what? You go to church dressed the way you were dressed? And that was an opportunity for him to minister in the realm of the dress that he had on. He had on ripped jeans.
Right.
They're not used to seeing church folk in that manner. So that was a method that was changed, but he was still able to share Jesus Christ. And I believe that they're coming to his concert this weekend. He was able to minister the fact that, hey, we're in church, I'm a musician, why don't y'all come hang with us and enjoy this kind of music this weekend?
Exactly.
Yes.
What was the first recording?
His first record, well, his first project,
Project.
his first album.
Project.
The album Brand New, which they did in 1977, 78. The first album, Brand New, was a very contemporary gospel album that it was like Tommy really let loose on his creativity. The things that he had been holding back, or the things that were not accepted under the roof of the church,
Right.
he was able to convey with the Thomas Whitfield Company. One thing that really made the Thomas Whitfield Company creative is that some of their songs, like he did a particular concert where the choir was like dressed up in biblical costumes because Tommy was an anthem writer, and he wrote this particular anthem called Hero Israel, and he did a concert, and the choir was in biblical costumes. I believe they had a couple animals on stage to really convey the song. So the company was very creative in the songs, in conveying what they were singing. You love Andre Crouch. I have a slew of albums from his collection that he listened to these various artists.
Really?
From Tremaine to Lynette Hawkins. Man, he loved the Hawkins. He loved the Hawkins. He loved the Hawkins. You know, and just a lot of other artists that he supported. Not only the ones that he produced, but there was other artists that he just supported them. He was so close to Milton Brunson and the Thompson community singers, the Whitfield Company. Many people back in the day tried to pin them as a competition, but it was never like that. You know what I'm saying? We came back in a day where if Milton Brunson was having a major event and maybe it fell on the same day that the company was, then Tommy would change his date and go support Milton Brunson. And then the Whitfield Company would have something, and Darius Brooks and Tyrone Block and then Percy Beatty from Milton Brunson singers, they would all come down and support the company.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That was the love that people really didn't see. I'm gonna tell you some things that Tommy used to do with me that I was, and it was because I've been around him. I seen he allowed me to have input when Tommy would go in the studio. Case in point, my brother used to live near, not too far from the airport here in the city. He stayed in a wonderful house. Everybody knows that live in Detroit. It was on Orange Line. Everybody knows when Tommy used to live on Orange Line. But Tommy used to go in the studio and he would call me. He would say, "What you doing?" I'm not doing nothing. You know, I was staying with my mom at the time. And he would come pick me up. He'd say, "I want you to listen to something. Tell me what you think." And we would take a ride down I-94 to the airport. And he would put on the instrumental tracks to songs that he was working on. I remember specifically his solo project, My Faith. That was the second solo project that he did. And I remember him playing "Oh in My Spirit," but it was just the instrumental tracks. And he wanted to get my take on the string arrangement that he did. And we would ride, man. And Tommy was a string monster. He loved strings because strings take you on a flight. Strings tell a story behind what's going on. It kind of like illuminates what's going on. And he would ride down 94. I'd be listening to these strings, man. Like it was like a spiritual high, you know. And he wanted my input. He wanted to know if the strings were too loud, if I should bring them down, if I should not bring them in as quick, or not take so long to bring them in and stuff. He valued my input because he had been cultivating me all this time.
That is
did the same thing with me. And then beyond that, I could say from a personal standpoint, Tommy never liked to eat by himself.
Really?
He would call somebody. It was either somebody from the company, or he would call me and my mother, or he would go and get Gwen Morton. He didn't like to eat by himself. He just enjoyed fellowship.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. He just really enjoyed fellowship. And beyond that, he was one of the silliest people.
Really?
He was one of the silliest people that you ever wanted to meet. Even in music, but when it came down to the sensitivity of it, and now let's pipe down and let's get this part. He was a pharaoh when it came to that. He didn't play. He did. I think the week I remember that Wednesday, I used to cut Tommy's hair for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, I used to cut his hair when he didn't have time to get to his barber.
Who was his barber?
I don't know who his barber was because he would just call me a lot and say, "Can you come by and bring your clippers?" I'm fine. But I used to go by and cut his hair. This particular Wednesday, he was headed to Texas. He was headed to Texas to do a workshop with Kirk Franklin. I think it was a weekend, a 3-day, 2-day workshop that he was with Kirk Franklin. And I was cutting his hair. And we just jokingly, Tommy was just silly. But he began to talk about, you know, when the Lord get me out of here.
Oh, wow.
You know, just talking silly.
Mm.